Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah al-Kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa la sharika lah wa ashhadu Muhammadan abduhu wa rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Did you think this was going to be in English? Okay, we'll do it in English. Well, as a new Muslim, Texas, a guy comes up to me, how come you don't say God like normal people? Well, why you say Allah? Won't you say God? Be normal, boy. But watch the line of questioning that could come back. If a Muslim really wanted to get on your case, look what he could ask you. So you say God, yeah? And you're a Christian. Yep. That's right. Well, do all the Christians say God? Well, actually they don't. Huh? They don't. Where are all the Christians in the world? Well, most of us is over here off of Center Street and down over. No. No. Let's broaden your horizons a little bit. Let's look around the world. We got about 6 billion human beings walking and talking on the planet, doing this and that and the other, right? And out of those people, how many are Christian? About a fourth, roughly, give or take, about a fourth of those people are Christian. Do you know that? And do they all say God? No. 75%? No. Half? Not even half. The reason I'm telling you that because the majority, the one single largest group of Christians is Catholic in the world today. And the largest majority of the Catholics in the world today don't speak English as their mother language. Did you know that? Now, they speak French, Italian, a lot of them are speaking Spanish. Some of them are speaking other languages in Europe. There are a lot of Catholics out there, and they're not using the word God. Go look at the translations. I challenge you to do that. All you have to do is go to any hotel or motel on the planet. And when you go into the motel room, there's a drawer right beside the bed. Open it up. What's going to be in there? The Yellow Pages is already gone. Somebody got that. They didn't want the Bible. You take it out. It's put there by the Gideon Society. And you'll see that they're going to tell you about all the translations that they've made to these different various languages. The first one's the Afrikaans language, which is very similar to German language. You can look up the German language and see. You can look up all of the different languages. Keep reading. Keep reading. Look at all the different languages because the example they gave is out of John 3:16. What is John 3:16? Anybody knows? Raise your hand if you know. I'm not going to make you say it, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know John 3:16? Get it up there. All right. I saw more Muslims raise their hand than Christians. What happened here? What's that all about? John 3:16 in English, depending on which translation you have, says, "For God so loved the world." We can stop right there and look and see. Now, when it said God in English, what did it say in Italian? What did it say in French? What did it say in Spanish? German? In Belgium? Swedish? Norwegian? Danish? Go look. Doesn't say God. Oh. But what's really interesting is number 2. Right after Afrikaans language, the number 2 language is Arabiya. So let's look and see what it says there. For Arab Christians and Arab Jews. Actually, it says Alif Lam Lam Ha. Allah. It says Allah. For Christians and Jews. And you can look in there on page 1, Genesis. In the translation that I have to Arabic, it has 17 verses on page 1 in Genesis. 17 verses. Coincidentally, the word Allah is exactly there 17 times on page 1. Well, let's take it to another level. How many Muslims are there in the world? Anybody know? About 1/4. About the same, give or take. Now, how many of those Muslims are Arabs? Huh? 90%? 50? 25? 12%. Maximum 88% of all the Muslims in the world, not Arabs. So then, logically, that 88%, well, let's find out. Do they speak Arabic language? No. In fact, after you visit Maghreb, Morocco, and Egypt, you'll find out that a lot of Arabs don't speak Arabic language. I can't believe you said that. Anyhow, the fact is, the vast majority, almost 90%, of all the Muslims on the earth don't speak the Arabic language. True? Okay. So now, and you have Muslims from everywhere in the world here. We could take a poll. I can show you real quick. Anybody here from Egypt? Raise your hand real quick. Egypt? Hands up. Okay. Pakistan? Hands up. Quickly. India? Anybody from India? Here we go. Sri Lanka? Anybody from Sri Lanka? MashaAllah, right over here. Sri Lanka. Do I hear Indonesia? Anybody from Indonesia? Who we got? Oh, right over here. We got Indonesia. Do we have anybody from Texas? All right, all right. How y'all doing? Y'all take your time of going now and y'all hurry back, damn. Anybody from Morocco? I can speak your language too. Couscous. But out of all of us, Muslims, every single Muslim on the planet uses the word Allah. Now, if you consider that, 1/4 of the world's population are using this word, Allah, to represent the one only God. Plus, the Christians and Jews who are Arabs are using that word. So, now if you want to talk about who's normal, huh? This is just to level the playing ground. I'm not trying to prove a point, I'm just trying to bring some evidence for the point that I am going to try to prove. I'm going to attempt now to kind of shake your mind up a little bit and show you why Muslims use the word Allah. First of all, the Quran is only in the Arabic language. As I mentioned when we started the program out, the Quran is not in any other language. And it doesn't translate. We can discuss meanings all day long in other languages, and we do that. As Sheikh Suhaib said, very clear. At the same time, though, if you want to know what did Allah say, you don't say He said something in the English language. In fact, the Bible itself was not revealed in the English language. There was no such thing as English even 1,000 years ago. Huh? There were no English speakers because there was no English until after the Normans invaded the Saxons in the year 1066 AD. But the Semitic languages, which are Hebrew, Aramaic, and Arabic, are sister languages, and they go back to pre-recorded history. So again, setting the tone, which one has the more credibility? And what did they say in Aramaic? How many of you heard about a movie called Passion of the Christ? Again, all the Muslims that went to see it. What's this? Why do Muslims say Allah? Allah is the name that the author, if you will, of the Quran calls Himself. Allah calls Himself Allah in the Quran. So it is really inappropriate for me to give Him any other name, isn't it? I mean, if He says, my name is so-and-so, then that's what you would call Him. What did Mel Gibson do with Passion of the Christ. He went all the way to Syria to get the only people left on earth that still speak the Aramaic language of Jesus Christ. Peace be upon him. Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, spoke what language? Aramaic. Yes or no? And those people who are left on earth that still speak his language happen to be in Syria, which is a Muslim country, and they have been protected for 1,400 years by the Muslims. Their lifestyle, these people are mostly farmers. Are you familiar with the Amish people, the Quakers, people like that? These are real simple people. No weapons. If the Muslims wanted to get rid of anybody, they could go there and do it. But they have a big respect for them. They're very kind to them, and they protect them. It's evidenced by the fact that they're still there. And the fact that Mel Gibson had to go there to get the language that he used in the movie Passion of Christ. And in the movie itself, in the Aramaic language, you can hear the one who pretended to be Jesus. By the way, he got hit by lightning 3 times while they were shooting that. And it'd be like, isn't that a sign? I don't know. Boom! Oh, wow! Okay! Anyway, it's true, he got hit by lightning 3 times. Anyhow, in the movie, you see the one playing the part of Jesus using that term, Allah. And then if you want to open up the New Testament, you can just look at it. It says Eli. Okay, in English, Eli. But actually, these are trying to pronounce words from the Aramaic language. They're trying to pronounce words from a long time ago when they did the translation. And the word, like the word Allah, in some countries, they would say Allah. Like, for instance, Al-Bayt. I'm saying A-L-B-A-Y-T. Al-Bayt. But they'll say El-Bayt. E-L. They do that in Morocco. They use E-L when they go to English, yes or no? Yeah. Or French using E-L, right? So, if you said E-L, L, and then the possessive ownership is E at the end of something. Baiti. Bait is house. Baiti, my house. Right? Is that right? So if I say Ilahi, what am I saying? Huh? My God. Ilahi. Ilahi. Lima sabatani. My God, why have you deserted me? And this is what we find twice in the New Testament. Think about it. Think about it. Now, Elohim. Elohim, that's Old Testament. This is Elohim. This is for God. It represents it. But they never pronounce the tetranomogram. They never pronounce it because it's forbidden to do that in Jewish law. You cannot do it. This is why they don't put any vowel markings on that particular word. In fact, they say they've lost the word, which means God. They say that. But yet Elohim is what we say, only we pronounce it Elohuma. Oops. It's again the same, isn't it? The word Allah cannot be made plural, nor can it have gender. It is not plural and it's not gender. Right away somebody say, wait a minute, in the Quran it said we, us, our. Throughout the Quran, Allah is saying we, us, and our. That looks like a plural to me. There's your Trinity. No, it isn't. That's called the royal we. Just like when a king or queen make any kind of a declaration or proclamation, they say, we declare the following. It's the royal we in Arabic, just like we use the royal we in the English language. Qul hu Allahu ahad. Say he is Allah, the uniquely ahad, one. The word in Arabic for one is wahad. But the word ahad is from that, and it means a one that no two is going to come after, you know? Well, you got one, and you're never going to match it. And Allah is uniquely one. So, for sure, this is the name that we use. And if you want to be a really good Christian, why don't you use the word that Jesus used? And if you don't believe me, believe Mel Gibson.
Yes, there's another question here. This is related to the hadith of Ali radiallahu anhu in the battlefield how do we remain steadfast in the face of our enemy whom openly mocked our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This question is from a sister.
Okay, that's a very good question. What do we do when somebody insults our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The first time it happened to me, I was at George Mason University giving a speech. After the speech, one came up to me. He's not Muslim. He was an old man, actually, and he knows Arabic, and he came in my face, and he said, "What do you say about a 53-year-old man that has sex with a 6-year-old girl?" Whoa, when he said this, I almost passed out, because I couldn't believe anybody would talk like this. I couldn't believe somebody would say something like this. I knew what he meant by what he said. I was so upset. I started taking my coat off. And I would give it to the sheikh who was with me. I said, just hold my coat. I'm going to go on this guy. And as I was taking my coat off, I looked at him, I said, this depends on your question. If it's a rhetorical question, or if you're insulting my prophet, in which case I'm going to take you out back and beat your head off your shoulders. He said, no, it's rhetorical. I said, in this case, it doesn't need an answer. Obviously, what he said, no Muslim would support this idea, because our Prophet ﷺ never would do something like this. Our Prophet did not do what this man said. But the way he said it, people would think, this is Muhammad. Our Prophet ﷺ was the example for us, and he was the mercy to mankind. I had to go to the scholars and ask them, how do I answer the question? They said, first of all, you don't get angry. This is in the hadith of Rasul ﷺ, la tagdab. Somebody said, give me nasiha, la tagdab. And then, la tagdab, la tagdab. Don't get angry. Take it easy. Keep your cool. Take it easy. Second thing is, when you don't know, just say, I don't know. But be kind to them. Maybe they will listen to the answer. So the next time, I saw the same guy again. I'm ready. This time, he started with another question. It's nothing but an insult, the way he said it. But this time, I said, thank you for asking me about my religion. He went, huh? He didn't expect that. He thinks I'm going to get angry. Not now. I know we shouldn't do that. Thank you for asking me about my religion. And then, say this. As a Muslim, I cannot lie. As a Muslim, I cannot lie. If I lie, I can go to hell. And if I don't tell the truth, if I make a mistake, you can check it out anyway, because everything in Islam is preserved 100%. Mia mia. The Quran and the Sunnah, we still have it today as we had it centuries ago. So it's there. So it's easy. We can find the answer. But by the way, and here it comes. Are you listening? If, while you are listening to my answer, you like the answer so much that you say, that's better than what I have, are you going to be ready to make a move to something better? He said, yeah. And then I began to give the answer. First of all, the hadiths are in Bukhari, and it's two. One, it says Aisha's 6 years old, and her mother, listen to the hadith, her mother comes to her and takes her into the house. She's playing in the dirt. Her mother takes her into the house to her father. So far, did you hear the word sex in there? No. And her father is doing a tradition which is a part of the Arab tradition forever. He's offering his daughter in marriage to his best friend, someone who is a leader, someone who is very important to him, and he's saying, I want you to marry my daughter. But then what? She's back outside playing in the dirt. Yes or no? Yeah. Where did you hear sex in there? I think you've been standing in the checkout line of the grocery store too long looking at the tabloids with that word sex on it. Oh, that's all you're thinking about. This is not our Prophet ﷺ. The other hadith, she's older. The mother's taken to the father's offering her in marriage, and look what it said in the Quran in chapter 4 verse 19. Very clear, it tells, O you who believe, you cannot inherit women against their will. In order for a woman to get married, she has to be old enough to know what's going on and understand it and old enough to have children. Yeah, otherwise she can't get married. It's not a legal marriage in Islam. Yes or no? So what do you think? It gives us the example that even though she was betrothed at an early age, they didn't get married until she was old enough. The man standing there going, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. It happened again when I was in Chennai. The same subject come up, and I told another one the same way. He said, really? I said, yes, but I'm going to ask you a question. Everything we know about their marriage is coming to us from her. Read what she said and think. Out of 2,200 sayings or hadith from her, roughly 2,200, she is saying only what? The best things about her husband, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes or no? And all that she said again and again, she's praising him, loving him, caring about him. She talks about when she was young, she used to race with him and she used to beat him. She said, I got older, I got heavy, and then he used to beat me in the races. She used to tease him. She played tricks on him. We know from the Quran some tricks that she played. Whoa, watch out. But still, he was a very caring and loving husband to her. So much so when he died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he wanted her to be there. He died right there in that house with his head in her lap. And what was the last thing she did? She used a toothstick and she cleaned it for him and opened it up and put it in his mouth because she knew how much he liked it. And in this way and in this condition, he passed away. And for the rest of her life, she narrated from him and never said a single bad word ever about her husband. Do you know any women today who could go their whole life and never say something bad about their husband? Hello? Do you know a woman who can go even 1 year or 1 month or 1 week, maybe not even 1 day, and she's saying something about her husband? Aisha radiallahu anha never said a single bad word on her husband. Yes or no? And she never even considered to look at another man for the rest of her life. In her heart and in her mind, she is still married to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they will be together in Jannah, in the paradise, and live there happily ever after. I'm asking you a simple question. Is this the best love story you ever heard? Or do you like the story of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet on Valentine's Day, talking about, oh, what a love story, Romeo and Juliet. 2 young lovers, one a preteen, maybe 12, and one 14, something like this, very young, from 2 separate tribes that did not like each other. They hated each other, they were fighting. So the Capulets on the one side, and the other family on the other side, and they hate each other. And they don't want their children to even know each other, so they sneak behind their back. Did they get married? No. What did they do? I don't want to mention. And then what? One of them commits suicide. And then the other one commits suicide. According to the Jewish religion, Christian religion, and Islam, they go to hell. Compare that to the story of Muhammad and Aisha. And tell me what you think is really the story of romance. And he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. MashaAllah. Just remember this, no matter how harsh the questions come, you have a responsibility to present Islam in the best way. Don't try to be Ahmed Deedat, or don't try to be Zakir Naik, don't try to be Yusuf Estes. Be you. Be yourself as the best Muslim you can be. Wallahi. And I don't like to say wallahi because I'm not Arab anyway, but when I say this, I really mean I wish all of us would just use what Allah gave us and be the best Muslim you can be. This would destroy shaitan on this planet. He wouldn't have a chance. May Allah guide us.